Hello, dear friends. Welcome to another study, another day, new opportunities for you and I to learn with Emmanuel. In this series that we are calling Learning with Emmanuel, today we will read and reflect on a message from the book Patience by the Spirit, Emmanuel, through the mediumship of Francisco Candido Xavier. And today's message is titled Opportunities. So Emmanuel will talk to you and I about the opportunities we have in our lives to do what? To grow, because we are here on this life to improve ourselves and ultimately to learn how to love one another. And today's message starts with the following. He says, opportunities are potential riches of the soul in the midst of time. So we can become rich, we can become wealthy in spiritual gifts. Opportunity seeks us daily, calling us through situations and people so that we may manifest ourselves in the edification of good for others, which will always result in portions of happiness in our favor. Watch for their presence in order to take advantage of them as much as we can. Observe and we will see that invitations of this nature appear incessantly along the way, although we are not always able to perceive them. So first break for this message. Most of these messages are short and sweet. This one would not be different because, as you and I know, Emmanuel does not, and other superior spirits do not waste time the same way that we do, right? Opportunities are potential riches. Have you ever seen or thought about the opportunities you were granted in this life as an opportunity for you to acquire spiritual wealth, which is the true wealth that we have on as part of this reincarnatory plan of ours? Opportunities seek us daily. So what has today's opportunity been for you? Which opportunity? For me, it has been the opportunity to practice patience in the workplace. And because in this life we work for a living, therefore we know that we have to be in community with others in this life, and that give us a lot of opportunity for learning patience, which is the title of this book. And that's part of the reason we are studying this, is because we need to learn the part of us, we have to tame the part of us that wants to fight, rebel, who always indignant, to learn patience, right? It says, opportunity seekers daily, calling us through situations and people so that we may manifest ourselves in the edification of good for others. So here is the kick. We are here to do good, to serve one another. I do good for you, you do good for me. Not quid pro quo, but the good of all is what we are searching, not for our own good, not just for us. This is what the forces of darkness want us to think, is just about us, me, and mine, self-care, my time, boundaries, and we forget that we came here to be together. And he says, edification of good for others, which will always result in portions of happiness in our favor. So the day you and I, we decide and we learn that when we serve, we obtain happiness, the world will change. Imagine if we, for a day, we put ourselves in the shoes, metaphorically speaking, right, of the superior spirits who are constantly doing the good for the whole humanity. the many thousands and millions of spirits who come to earth every day to help you and I in the spiritual missions, they are obtaining happiness. And imagine if they didn't do that, how much we would miss, right, in terms of help in the wealth of the spiritual world. Watch for their presence. Remember, Jesus says, watch and pray. We watch for the presence of opportunity in order to take advantage of them. Many of us spend most of our days immersed only in the needs of the flesh. Wake up, hygiene, food, drive, work, do, come back, food, hygiene, sleep, repeat, rinse and repeat. We only worry. We don't watch for the opportunities of edifying the good for others. It says, observe and you see that invitations appear incessantly, although we're not always able to perceive them. So let's look at this. This will air in the morning. We're recording this and we will air in the morning. So the previous day, what were the opportunities presented to you in your life that we didn't perceive? So sometimes with a little bit of hindsight, we can say, oh, I could have done this, but not to feel guilty, just for the next time where God put us in the same situation with the same or different people, then we are able to more easily scan the environment for those opportunities of doing the good. Now he's going to give us examples of this invitation to opportunity to service. The irritable brother who directs certain imprudence and unfortunate phrase at us. Let's say in difficult moments of traffic, clearly waiting for our donation of tolerance. We all commute somewhere sometime during the day, and he's giving us the example of someone who is having a road rage, or who looked at us differently, or uttered something in their cars towards us. What are they waiting for? Donation of tolerance. Next, he says, a family member in distress, waiting for our reassuring words, anointed with sympathy and solidarity, so that he can get up in his spirit. So the friend who is dejected is waiting for us to anoint our words, which are reassuring, kind, to anoint it with sympathy and solidarity. Then the family member troubled with obstacles, whom we must approach with the help that we can. So these are opportunities of service, right? It may be the soothing page, easy to extend to companions of existence in experience, victims of setbacks, or of purpose of rebellion or revenge. So sometimes we can share, right, this series of someone, like, subscribe, make it relevant in the algorithm of the social medias. It may be the pleasant and comforting conversation at home or on the street, which we unconsciously keep someone from falling into suicide, right? We've talked about this before in our studies. Sometimes just asking someone how they are doing, what are they up to, sometimes bringing up how are you, meaning it, saying their name, asking how they're doing, engaging in a conversation. It is next opportunity. Discreet help to the friend whose feelings are clouded with very obstacles that the lack of resources often known to us on the physical plane suggests that we kindly give him or her the support and the same companion in need did not ask us for. So it is to be able to have that eye for details, read between the lines, observe. Sometimes our friends lack, but they are ashamed of asking. And then we extend the hand to them in the physical and in the spiritual, as much as someone who would blatantly be needed and would help. He says, very interesting imagery now. He says, There's always someone shipwrecked in the air of human difficulties. So there's a shipwreck, one of us, right? There's 8 billion incarnates, many more discarnates. There's always a shipwreck out there. He says, Emmanuel, extend your gaze and you identify the opportunities to serve that stand out in plain sight. Sometimes the need is in plain sight, but because the focus we have learned and taught through generations, being taught through our parents, school, society, that's about us, what we can do, what do we want, not what God wants, what do we want to achieve, not what can we give collectively. So he says the opportunities to serve may be standing out in plain sight. Importantly, he says, do not wait for others for your cooperation. So we have to do what we have to do, regardless of people join us. Your mission in this planet is unique to you. Others come to help, of course, because we don't do anything alone. But if you see the need and the companions of life don't follow, he says, do not wait for others. You go do it. You can today start messaging your friends with those anointing words of tolerance and sympathy and empathy. You can share a message of Spiritist. You can translate something and do a study. There's so many things you can do to help others today. Collaborate voluntarily in the certainty that you'll be sowing valuable seeds of work and love in the construction of a better future. Let's imagine. Imagine, right? There's a song that I can't say because of copyright, but there's a song named Imagine. Well, let's for a moment imagine that every day, each and every one of us in the physical plane woke up and said, how can I serve you, God? And walked this world on this earth, not to take things for ourselves, but looking out for the opportunities that stand in plain sight. So we would be constantly 24/7 helping one another. If we read the books of André Luiz, he gives us a glimpse of what it is to live in a colony where people wake up thinking of helping others, right? Now Solar and the colonies because now Solar is just above the lower zones, but much higher above. People are planning and helping us. How can they be of help? Imagine there are other planets, as we learn in the Gospel according to Spiritism, much more elevated. The spirit dominates matter, and people are not there to self-serve. How can I have a bigger yacht, boat, car, house, job, and only benefits 3 people, me, myself, and my family, my direct family, right? We want to look into the horizon and see the need. Just as Jesus looks, imagine, to be a superior spirit of that caliber. He takes care, he's responsible for the governance of the planet. So he's taking care of each and every one of us. He knows 8 billion incarnates plus the 20 plus billion discarnate beings attached to the earth. Oh, look at the responsibility. But he's always there, watching for the need, for the attunement, waiting for us also to do our part in it, and seeking help and helping. And then he sends his messengers to help us. Emmanuel continues, opportunities, afflictions, struggles, and trials. Time parades them so that we can recognize them. Get up each day to the best you can, work and serve. Today, someone let us see the tribulations that are necessary for their spiritual improvement so that we can give them something useful of our own. Tomorrow, however, may be the day for us to have the need to receive. So today, someone else is blessing us with the opportunity of service. Tomorrow, we may be in the receiving end of that. Do not be afraid to give to those who are suffering the crumb of help that you can dispose of. Since beneficence before eternal goodness is simply duty a duty of ours. On the journey of goodness towards the union of all creatures in endless abundance. So today you give, tomorrow you may be in the point of receiving. Imagine if we were in the point of receiving, how wonderful it would be if there was another soul that would look around and say, okay, that brother or sister of mine is in need, so I'll go there and help. So if we wish to be helped, we go and help others. And that is chapter 6, Opportunities from the Spirit Emmanuel. And dear friends, I hope that God will bless us with another opportunity of study, another day with the Learning with Emmanuel series. Hope to see you really soon. Stay well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and one another. Bye-bye.